Reiki definitely needs grounding. So when you're working with a client, you have to ground the client. You have to ground yourself. You have to basically ask the universe to take all the energies away. Basically, you just want a fresh start. You want to be able to remove that energy from a ground state. You want to be able to have that energy flow. And in order to do that, you have to have it grounded. So you have to make sure that your feet are on the ground. You feel like you're rooted. It feels like you're maybe a bamboo that's kind of digging your roots into the marsh or into the ground. And no matter how much wind blows, you're not going to be able to move over. The grounding could be a technique where you're taking the energy from above and you're allowing it to flow right through your body, and you're allowing to just imagine that connection that goes through your root chakra all the way to the ground, all the way to the center of the earth. And you want to just be able to focus on grounding yourself to the center of the earth. And once it's connected to that center of the earth, you can feel that energy just relax. You can just feel yourself kind of soak into what you're trying to ground to. It's very powerful. Once we're grounded, then we try and get some breathing. So we want to try and relax the breath. We want the breath to feel relaxed. We want the full inhales, and then we want the full exhales. We want to all the way in a little bit more if you need to, and then all the way out. All the way in and all the way out. And what that does is it helps relax. It helps you relax your body. It helps you relax your shoulders, your mind, your arms, relax your belly, relax your legs. You want everything to be relaxed, and you want to be in a nice calm state to allow the energy to flow through. If you're tense, your body's going to fight. We don't want that fight. We want the energy to flow all the way across from one area to another. We want it to be able to transmit whatever it needs to heal from one side to the other. So, a Reiki attunement. I've been interested in Reiki for a very long time. My mother did it since the mid-90s. At the time, I thought it was what they call now woo-woo or woo, until I was under her hands. When I was under her hands, she found areas on me that I knew were injured, but I didn't tell her, and she found them. And I thought that was absolutely incredible and amazing. There was a time where I had issues with my knees. She was about 12 inches over my knees, and I could feel the heat. It felt like an iron was on my knees, and I'm telling my mom, I'm like, Mom, that's like super hot. What are you doing? She's like, well, I found something. I'm helping you heal. I'm like, well, there's an iron on my leg. Like, that's too hot. You have to back away. She's like, well, I'm already a foot above your knees. And when I looked, sure enough, her hand was like very, very high, and it felt like there's literally an iron on my leg. I couldn't believe it. That was just phenomenal to me. So pretty much ever since then, I've been very curious, very interested in Reiki. The attunement was absolutely amazing. Thanks to my master, Nastasha. Nastasha attuned me, and she had me sit quietly, eyes closed, and she was doing her, whatever she was doing for attunement. But I recall the bright, vivid colors that I was seeing in my third eye chakra. Just the bright colors. Like I was seeing purples and I was seeing pink, and I saw them so vivid and so intense right in front of my forehead that I've never seen anything like that before. It was like instantaneously. I believe she tapped a few times on my forehead, and once she tapped, boom, I was seeing third eye visuals, bright purple, bright pink, and just not just like a little spot, like it was my entire front lobe was just glowing in color. At the time, I also felt like almost like a tingling going from the top of my body down into my feet. I felt something flow all the way to the ground. And since then, wow, the magic has happened. I did practice on an individual for that session. I'm not naming names due to confidentiality, but wow, I was able to, on my first Reiki treatment, feel the energy flow from one part of the body to the other. I've never experienced that before. I was shown a technique where I can actually try and dig into an area of concern, and when I made that the motion, I did the Reiki symbol, I did the motion, I went for the dig. I wasn't touching the individual, and right away I felt something go through my body. Like I felt something go basically from my hand all the way down my right side, right down to the floor. And I, right at that time, I said, whoa. At the exact same time, the client on the table said, whoa. And he's like, what did you do? I'm like, I don't know, man, but I felt that too. And he's like, that was incredible. So there's something there. The energy is definitely there. How do you explain it? I can't. I have such a logical mind. I have 2 logic degrees, mathematics and philosophy. But this energy work is a new world. This energy work, in a way, logically doesn't make sense, but I know that it works. It's absolutely incredible how powerful this is. So I did work on an individual out in New Jersey for a distance Reiki session. I've never met this individual before. I know her through common ground, but I've never met her face to face. I just know her first and last name. So I told her that I was interested in Reiki, and she said, oh, my dad does Reiki. I told her, I could practice the distance Reiki on her. She said, yeah, absolutely. So she was my first distant Reiki subject. And sure enough, we're going through the session. It was about a half-hour session. We're going through the session. I could feel that her feet were very, very cold. When I had my surrogate on my lap to work on the Reiki session, her feet were ice cold, like ice cold. I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying to work on them, trying to, get the energy flowing through her feet, but they weren't warming up, so I continued doing something else. And then about 20 minutes into the session, I disconnected. I'm not, we weren't online or we weren't on a phone call or anything. I was just focused in my room, had an ambient setting. I know she had an ambient setting in her place. About 20 minutes into the session, she'd identified that she forgot to turn her phone off. So she got up out of her chair and she went to go turn her phone off. I felt that. I felt the disconnect of the quantum entanglement or whatever you want to call it. I felt that. That was mind-blowing to me that I could know exactly when she disconnected our session. And then she came back within a few minutes, and I'm like, okay, well, obviously thanking her distantly that she came back and we were able to finish the session. So that was actually remarkable. That was intense. Quantum entanglement. You have 2 particles, and those 2 particles can share the same frequency. So basically what one's doing, the other one's doing, and they can mimic the reaction, and they know what's going on, and they're basically one unit because they're 2 particles acting as one. If you take those 2 particles and you separate them, if you separate them, 20 feet, 20 yards, 20 miles, 20 kilometers across the world, it doesn't matter, because when one of those particles that have been previously entangled with each other knows that same frequency, if that particle feels something at the exact same time, that second particle feels the exact same thing regardless of distance. To me, that is mind-blowing, and I believe that's how the Reiki works, through a form of quantum entanglement. You're vibrating on that same frequency. You're able to feel each other. You're able to heal each other. So Reiki, you can heal. There is no distance. There is no time. You can heal in the past, present, the future. Quantum entanglement, intense. It exists. It works. I think that's how, when 2 people are in love, they can feel each other. One has a feeling, or a mother and a child, they can sense each other. The mother usually has a strong intuition. It's a theory, but I think it completely works. There's been a few studies about plants, where if plants are grown from seed from a specific owner, those plants, if they grow, then they get moved over to a different owner. The original owner, if that original owner gets within 2,000 feet, that plant actually knows that owner is nearby. It's been studied, it's been measured. It's crazy. The world is full of energy, and I think we have to learn how to use the energy to heal. When somebody does Reiki, it's actually the individual on the table or on the floor or on the ground or on the chair They're the healers. The practitioner is just the energy guide. So people think that the energy guide will be the one that's healing the individual. No, everybody has the opportunity to heal. Really, that's all the practitioner is doing, is helping guide that individual. Everybody can heal. Everybody has the mind to heal. It's a mindset. If you have the proper mindset, if you have a positive mindset, you can heal anything, you can do anything. If you truly believe, and not just say that you believe, but if you truly believe that something's going to happen, it's going to happen. It's just a will, or like a manifestation. There are meditations that you can do to help manifest things. There have been instances where people have won the lottery 3 times. How's that even possible? They believe it. They believe that they're going to be the ones that win there, but they believe that they're going to be the ones that choose the right numbers. They just know that it's going to happen. People believe that they're going to have a successful business because they know that it's going to happen. They have a will for it. Energy is the future of medicine. Energy is the frequency that is going to help heal people. And what they found out is they've identified different frequencies for each chakra in the body. I can't remember how many different chakras, but there's 7 main chakras in the body. The root chakra is associated with grounding, security, and survival. That is at the 396 hertz frequency. The sacral chakra, it's associated with creativity, sexuality, and emotions. That is a sound of 417 hertz. The solar plexus chakra is at 528 hertz, and that has to do with personal power, will, and confidence. The heart chakra is associated with love, compassion, and relationships, and that's at 639 hertz. The throat chakra is for communication, expression, and truth, and that's at a frequency of 741 hertz. The third eye chakra, that's associated with intuition, insight, and wisdom. That's at 852 hertz. And the crown chakra, way up here, is associated with spirituality, enlightenment, and connection to the divine. And that's at 963 hertz. Listening to those sounds can help you manifest whatever chakra you're working on. If you want to manifest love, you go to that, you look up the love frequency through the heart, and that's at 639 hertz. If you want creativity, you listen to the 470 hertz frequency to instill that chakra. When I first was attuned, I was told that I would start experiencing different medium presences. In the first 21 days, I was getting some clairaudience, so I was hearing things. Like I'd be hearing, something like a book drop, but then I'd look over and the book didn't drop, and it was like literally right beside me. One night, I literally heard a cat meow in my bedroom. I don't have a cat, and it was as clear as day. Like it's not when I was falling asleep or anything. Like I'm awake doing whatever I'm doing, and I'm hearing these sounds. Now, where they're coming from, I don't know. I guess that's a sign that my intuition is getting better. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm getting the sense of smell too, so I can smell different items. I can smell crystals. I can smell people. Like it's so hard to explain. I can smell things on people that people themselves wouldn't be able to smell. How do I explain that? Getting whiffs of people with cigarettes is one thing, but getting whiffs of body odor of somebody that's not there, and then only to have them pass later and then smell the body odor, I don't know. Like I don't understand that. No wind, no fans blowing, but yet that is happening before I can even anticipate it happening. Yeah, it's a different world. The energy in my hands that I'm feeling on people, the energy that I feel can either pulsate in my hands, or I feel heat, or I feel cold. And I know those are areas to be aware of or kind of work on. Feeling the energy flow from one part of the body to the other, basically from the knee to the shoulder. You can feel that ever so slightly flow. When you're trying to ground somebody, you can actually feel the frequency of their body. It's very, very intense. It's different. Working on people too, your eyes are closed, you're focused, and then you can start seeing colors. You can start seeing like whites or golds or yellows, light yellow, pinks, purples, blues, greens, all in different places of the body that you're working on. For example, heart, I'll see green. Throat, I'll see blue. I could see purple or pinks almost anywhere in the body. Those are healing and love colors. I saw gray. I see black sometimes. I looked up black, and black basically means that the individual is not ready to release that yet from themselves. It's not a negative color. It just means that they've still got baggage that they're holding on to that the body doesn't want to release, and that's okay. We'll get there. I've seen auras lately. I haven't seen auras since I learned how to do so in college, never practiced it, but just recently I've been seeing auras again. How do you explain all this? It's logically, some of it doesn't make sense. Logically, it shouldn't exist, but it does. So I'm starting to understand psychics. I'm starting to understand clairvoyance. I'm starting to understand, astral projection. That is a thing. I'm starting to understand, the pineal gland and how you can get your energy up to that pineal gland and then be able to astral project. I'm not there yet. I want to get there. Believe it as you will. Get under my hands. I will show you some things. I don't have to explain anything. I just want you to experience what's going on. I want my hands to be able to help you guide that energy. I want to be able to pull the energy out of you. I want to be able to guide that energy away from wherever you need to. I want to bring positive energy into your system. I want you to heal. I want you to absorb love and energy. Everybody has the power to do it. I will be your guide. Even if you're a skeptic, just come try. Some people don't believe it. A lot of people don't believe in the woo-woo stuff. But the more that I'm telling people that I'm able to do this, people are reaching out to me. Friends from, that I'm in touch with once every 2 years phone me to say, I hear you're doing this. This stuff is fantastic. I've experienced it before. Good on you. You're doing right for the world. Another individual got a hold of, he's like, that's amazing. This stuff is, people thinks it's nuts, but he's like, I know it's true. He says, I know it's true. I'm like, I know it's true too, because I can feel it. Not only am I trying to share it, but I can feel it. Did another distance session on a young lady. Don't know too much about her. Having some difficulties. As I was working on her ears felt hot. They felt very, very, very warm. And then after the session, I received guidance that, that individual has ear issues. How did I know? I've never met this individual before. I just know her by name. I've seen a distant picture in the background of this individual. How am I able to connect to the 1 in 7 or 8 billion people, or however many people we have on this planet? How am I able to connect to them without knowing who they are? And how is it that I can pinpoint one of those 8 billion to do my work on for distance Reiki? It's amazing. It's unexplainable. Pretty much everybody that I've worked on, they're holding on to emotions. Everybody that I work on, I can find that they are holding on to something. I can find them in the sides. So when I'm working on them, either the right side or the left side, you can feel that they need to release. I hear the kidneys hold a lot of emotion as well. Everybody has emotion. Everybody is holding on to some kind of trauma in the past. And in order for you to heal, you have to let go of that trauma. It's way easier said than done, obviously. However, Reiki can help with that. Reiki will be able to help release some of that trauma, help you relax, help it get it out of your system, get the energy kind of flowing properly through those blockages in your body. Everybody has trauma. I've not experienced one individual who does not have some kind of trauma. It's okay. Everybody's had a difficult experience in their life of some kind. I don't need to know what it is, but I will help work that energy out of you. I think the best thing about giving Reiki is the feedback. I love hearing people's experiences. I love hearing what colors they see, what sensations they feel. I did have one individual who I was working on their emotions on the side, and he was actually quite vocal. A lot of sessions is just very quiet, just getting the client to relax. But this individual was very curious about what's going on, so he was explaining what he was feeling as I was doing my energy work. And that real-time feedback was phenomenal. I was actually working on the right side of his body, and like my entire session was the right side of the body. And I'm just like looking at the clock, 15 minutes to go. I'm like, okay, well, I need to work on his left side. Like I've been spending my whole time on his right side. I go to the left side. I kind of work a little bit on the left side, but then my intuition tells me to get back on the right side. So I get back there, and I'm telling him like, well, my intuition's telling me to go back to the right side. And so I said, I want to try something. So I do my first symbol, my chakra symbol. I do my chakra, and I start working on the side. I'm like, okay, let me know if you feel this. So I do my dig motion, and I'm like, did you feel that? He's like, no. Okay, well, let me try a different symbol. So I'd go to try the Seiki symbol. I do the Seiki symbol, and as I'm digging in, he's like, there it is. He's like, I see sparkles. I'm like, okay, good. So I kept working on it. I was like, oh, I see more sparkles, almost like fireworks, but it's just very like a lot of sparkles. I'm like, okay, well, that gives me feedback, because now I know when I'm working in a particular area to use the Seiki for specifically emotions, which exactly what the Seiki symbol is for. So just like, should have known that already. But yeah, it's the real-time feedback was pretty nice to have. Listening to the clients after they have their session, that evening how they feel better, or that evening how their shoulder's good, or they wake up the next day and their knees are better and they can walk. They don't need the cane to walk. When they do their work one day and then they wake up the next day, they've always got shoulder pain, but when I give them the treatment, they don't have shoulder pain the next morning. That to me just is awesome. I love it. I love hearing that feedback. As long as I'm doing something good for these individuals, that's the goal, that's the key. I will help you heal. It's as simple as that. I don't need to know what the issue is. My hands can find it. Your body will tell me where to find it. Your body will tell me where I need to work. Yeah, it's all about energy. It's about how the energy moves. And yeah, together we will help heal. And the more people that I think we can expose this to, the more people that we can actually heal both emotionally and physically, the world is going to be a much better place. It's going to be happier. People are going to want to be with each other, want to help each other, want to hold each other. There'll be more love, I think, spread out all over the world. Let's get this party started.